We'll just wait for a couple of minutes for everyone to join in, and then we shall begin our fun-filled journey of Gamifix. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the webinar of our latest offering, the Gamifix365, revitalizing Dynamics 365 CRM operations with fun games and activities. Now, before I move ahead in this fun-filled session, let me outline the webinar logistics. Lines of all the participants will be muted throughout the session. In case any question arises in your mind, please feel free to ask them with the help of the chat window. And I assure you that I will try to answer most of the questions, if not all, depending upon the time constraints. My name is Ninad, and I am the Business Development Manager for Inogic. Speaking of Inogic, we are a leading service provider and ISV for past more than a decade, and we have exclusive Dynamics 365 products. We are very much active in the Dynamics 365 community, and our blogs are not only extremely popular but also appreciated by the community. We truly believe in the philosophy of one-click solution, which is building productivity apps that reduces multiple steps which otherwise a CRM user has to take. Now, as you can see on the slide, we have various applications on the offering. I would like to take a moment and very briefly describe some of them. The first one that I want to touch base is Maplytics. Maplytics is certified for Microsoft Dynamics 365, and it helps businesses around the world to plot, plan, visualize, and analyze Dynamics CRM data on a map and offer seamless mapping services. Key features include managing territories, route optimization, smart appointment planner, and many more. One of my favorite app from the bouquet is the subscription and recurring billing management. The subscription and recurring billing management provides a robust platform for all the subscription based businesses to seamlessly manage, streamline subscription and recurring billing processes within the Dynamics 365 CRM. Another pearl that we have is Map My Relationships. It's a productivity control that provides mind map view of Dynamics 365 CRM data on a form. It helps the user to visualize connections and relationships between entities or related records in a single view. Now, apart from developing these awesome applications, we are also an SI. We do assist partners and customers with offshore development services. So in case you have any requirement ranging from customization to a world-changing idea, I would request you to get in touch with us on crm@inogic.com. So what shall we be discussing today? Well, we'll start with the impact of the gamification, a brief description about our new gamification app, the Gamifix 365, a small yet effective live demonstration, followed by a question and answer session. Now, all work, no play makes work life really boring. And when the work life is boring, then there is a minimum productivity. But with engaging games and activities, daily routine work can be made really exciting and entertaining. Now, a perfectly gamified CRM can be used to engage and motivate the users to give their best every day. Now, many surveys indicate that the companies with organized and effective gamification tends to make 7 times, yeah, that's the right number, 7 times the profit compared to the companies who haven't implemented gamification. Now, why just talk about the companies? 90% employees says gamification makes them more productive at work. Games motivates and encourages the individuals to do their best. So it's a no surprise that around 70% of the global 2000 companies have adopted gamification elements in their workplaces to improve the productivity of their workforces. Now, in a nutshell, the impact of the gamification is increased productivity, enhanced user engagement, increased job satisfaction, and above all, increased efficiency. Now, Inogic is proud to present the user gamification module in a new avatar named Gamifix365. Now, some of the key benefit of gamifying your Dynamics 365 CRM using our Gamifix 365 solutions are we can make the CRM daily routine work much fun for the users. Not just that, it can also be used for rapid development of skill sets and above all, encourage team building. Now, for organizations to function smoothly, there should be a good to great rapport between the team members. The team games available with Gamifix 365 will encourage the individuals to share their best practices with each other to achieve a common target. Now, this inevitably leads to a higher productivity. No doubt, team games encourage bonding between the team members. With that being said, let's have a quick peek at some of the key features of Gamifix 365. The first one and the most important one is the games. With Gamifix 365, we can create different types of engaging games like challenges, face off, and race for all the CRM users. The next key feature is the game rules. Every game must be played within the rules. Yes, we definitely want the users to win, but the game needs to be played by the rules. With game rules, the administrator can set the rules and conditions for the games to be played on the individual as well as the team level. The next feature is the badges and rewards. To boost the confidence and to provide that extra bit of inspiration, we can bestow badges and rewards to motivate the players that will eventually translate to achieving the organizational goals. The Gamifix 365 also comes with the scoreboards and the leaderboards where each player performance on a real time can be personalized through Gamifix 365 scoreboards and leaderboards. And above all, the mobile app. With Gamifix 365, we can enable the players to join the games and track performance through the mobile app as well. Now, with that being said, let's see the Gamifix 365 in action. For the webinar purpose, I have already installed the Gamifix 365 and also have configured it with few games and game rules. So let me just switch to my let me just switch to my CRM window. Now here I have logged in as an administrator. Now at the first I can see the leaderboards. Now here you may observe that I have a couple of games in progress. That's Cold Call Warriors and Qualified Leads Championship. Now we will talk about the purpose and the rules that we have set for these games in some time. However, for time being, I can see that for the Cold Call Warriors, Sheldon Potts is leading with 90 points, and for the Qualified Leads Championship, Mike is leading with around 12300 points. Right here under the administration, you may find the Gamifix 365 Studio. Now, within the Gamifix 365 Studio, I see a couple of tabs, the game rules and the games. Now, these can be used to create or edit the game rules and the games respectively. Let's talk about the game rules. Now, as you can notice, I already have configured 3 rules. Now, by clicking the 3 dots near the rule name, We can view, we can clone, we can activate, we can deactivate and delete these rules. Now these comes in really handy when you want to clone the rule which we have used for, let's say, a game which was run in the past, and now we want to revive the game. So we don't need to go through the time factor again. All we can do is just clone the rules. Now let me go ahead and click on games. Now, here we observe that there are multiple games and all of them are in different states. Some of them are in progress, which means that the game is still going on. The players, the users are still competing. Some of them, in fact, one of them is scheduled. It's in the pipeline. The game has not yet begun. And one game, which is the Cold Calls Warrior for APAC region, that has already been completed and we have the result for that now. We'll be talking about these games in few time, but for time being, the first game that I want to touch base is the Cold Call Warriors. Now, the idea behind creating the Cold Call Warriors game is to assign the points on every outgoing call made by my agent. So let me just show you the game right here. So as you can see, we have provided with the name. We can also have the start date and the end date. Now, for simplicity, I have also opened a new tab wherein all these things, the values that goes in each of them can be also verified simultaneously. So let me switch back to the existing game. So here we know the start date and the end date. So it's a month-long game with the start date and the end date defined. This start date and the end date can be used to determine the duration till which the game can be played by the team or the players. Now, the next attribute is the type of the game. Now, the Gamifix365 supports three different game types: the challenge, the face off, and the race type. Now, as you can see, for this Cold Call Warriors, I have set the game type to be race. But if I go to the second tab and if I just show you the types, these are the three types that has been supported by Gamifix 365. Now, let's talk about them one by one so that we can also understand how we can define a game. The face off is a game that can be played only between two users. The challenge and the race type can be played between multiple users, multiple teams, and we also support the fantasy teams as well. Let me just select the challenge type as challenge is the type game, and here is the game is between, whether it's between users, teams, or the fantasy teams. Now, personally, I feel the fantasy teams has taken the entire world by storm, and we have tried to replicate the same fun within the CRM. So let's assume there is a race going between multiple users of the sales team. Now, the sales team members are moving mountains to achieve and probably overachieve their target. So the fun lies within the sales team. Every sales team member might be checking their ranking, their points on weekly, daily, or even hourly basis. But what about the other teams working in the organization? The accounts team or maybe the operations team, they might be missing the fun. No worries. Fantasy teams is their key to the fun. With fantasy teams, any non participating CRM user can create their own teams with the players they think are the best. And then even non participating user can enjoy the fun of the games. What's more is that even a non participating user will go ahead and motivate the participating user to push their limits. The reason is simple, because the non participating user will win only when their fantasy team wins. That's the power of gamification. No wonder, as I had mentioned earlier, many surveys find a boost in the overall profits of the organization once the gamification is implemented. Let me go back to the game part. The next attribute is the behavior of the game. which basically takes one of the couple of values that is either private or public. Here you can see the behavior of the game as either we can set it to private or a public. Now, if we set the game to be public, the CRM user, if he has the required role, which we'll talk about in some time, will be able to join the game voluntarily. However, if we keep the behavior of the game as private, the CRM administrator or the creator of this game has to go under the tabs of players and then add the players whom he desires to have this type of challenge. The next, let me switch it back to public. Now, the next attribute is the allowed rules. Now, allowed rules enables that the CRM user has the necessary roles to join the game. Now, this comes in handy in situations like, let's say, if the game is about achieving the sales targets, then it is imperative that the game should be played among the CRM users who has any sales role related or any sales related role associated with themselves. Let me switch back. And the next attribute is the target. Now here I have set the target as 1000. Now target is plain and simple. The target is the end score that the player needs to achieve for winning the game. And finally, we have allow players to join the game if the game is in progress. Now let's say as we have seen at the start, uh, at the top the start date. So this game has already begun on 25th and today we are running on 27th. So let's say I am the sales rep and I feel that, hey, what, even though I'm starting a couple of days late, I'm confident that I can still catch up, and not just catch up, I might have the potential to win the game. So if this flag is set to yes, the player can join in even if the game is in progress, and this ensures that the CRM user doesn't miss the fun bus. Now, once we set all these attributes related to game details, the next is the game rules. Let me demonstrate the game rules. Under the game rules tab, here you may notice that I have already selected or I have already associated one of the game rules called as calls achieved. Now, what exactly is present with the calls achieved? So if I just want to show you, this is the, we can go under the games. I'm sorry, under the Gamifix365 Studio. This is the calls achieved, the rule that we were talking about. So let me just click on the view rule. And here you may notice that we have set the rules that are needed to play the game. Now, for simplicity, again, I've also opened, let me just open one of the Gamifix 365 Studio and let me hit on new rule. So here we can compare what values we have set. So let's start one by one. At the top, I have mentioned the rule names, also associated a short name so that it helps me in identifying the rules when I go ahead and have multiple rules. We can give an optional description as to what this game rule is doing. Now, understand the basis for which we are creating this rule. The rule is that, or the basis of the game is that I want my agents to achieve more and more number of outgoing phone calls. That is the reason I have set the type of this record to phone call. However, if I open the second tab, you may notice that we support almost everything. So depending upon the game that we want to create, so if you want to have, let's say, a number of cases that are closed, so it's very easy for me. All I need to do is just go here and type down case, and here is the case, and then we can associate multiple events that are associated with the records. So as of this moment, I have selected the phone call as the type of the record. Now, the next attribute is the event for the selected type of the record. So I am saying here that every time a phone call activity has been created, try to run this particular game rule. The next is which date should be used. So we have multiple options depending upon the business requirements. We can set one of them. For demonstration purpose, I have set it to the created on. And the next part is who should get the score. So as of this moment, I have selected a couple of values which is created by the user who is creating the record, and also to the owning user. Now this comes in really handy when let's take a simple use case where the agents are performing a lot of outgoing calls, and each agent must be mapped or is mapped to a team leader. So if the team leader also needs to be given the points for the agent who has done the call, we can use these all created by or owning user scores. The next is the calculate score by. Now, the Gamifix365 has a couple of options, the actual field value and the fixed points. Let me talk about the actual field value. Let's say hypothetically, we are talking about a game that is going on for sales targets. So the budget, let's say estimated budget, so that's an actual field value that can be used as a score. However, for a game which is having a phone call, I may not have a actual field value which is a tangible measurement. So in that case, in case if we don't have a tangible measured value, we can go ahead and give the fixed points the way I have given it in this case. So every call activity, a phone call activity that is created by the CRM user, 10 points will be assigned to them. Moving ahead, it's another interesting thing would be the filtering of the records. Now, this is completely optional, and of course, it will adhere to the business requirements. Now, let's talk about the phone call itself. So, what as of this moment, what we have said is once the phone call is created, 10 points needs to be given to the created by or the owning user. Makes sense. However, we are missing one fact over here is that the direction of the phone call. The phone call can be either incoming or the outgoing part. And we want to assign the 10 points only sorry, only if the direction is outgoing. So now that this particular part can be easily applied with the help of the advanced one. The moment I select the advanced, I can just go ahead, download a fetch XML in which I am selecting the phone call entity and the outgoing direction, and then just copy and paste the fetch XML over here, and we can then go ahead and save. Once this is done, then let me go back to my game under the game rules. Like here, we have now kept the calls achieved as my game rules. Perfect. So that's simple, right? Create a rule as per your business requirements, associate the rule with the game, and then just go ahead and click on go live. Now, however, since the game has already begun, here we don't see the go live button, but it has now been replaced with the pause. And the fun-filled race among the CRM users begin. But that gives rise to the next question: how the users will be added? Now that is determined by the behavior of the game. As mentioned some time back, if the behavior is public, any user who has the role mentioned in the allowed rules can join the race. However, if the behavior is private, the creator of the game or the administrator can come under the players tab and then add the new players. Now, as we can see on the screen right now, we already have 3 players who are actually started with all the activities, and some of them are having points as well. Let's continue. Now, once the race begin, an important element is to keep motivating the users to achieve and overachieve the target. Let's not forget the bottom line here. The more the users achieve the target, implicitly impacts the organization's goal and success. Now, this can be achieved with the help of badges. For this webinar, I have already created 3 badges: silver, gold, and platinum. Now, under the game badge and rewards tab, I have set the badges for some points. So for 500 points, a silver badge should be awarded to the user, and for 750 points, a gold badge should be awarded to the user. Now, in terms of the game, remember we have kept 10 points as a fixed points. So in terms of the game, it translates to that a silver badge should be awarded after 50 calls and a gold badge should be awarded after 75 calls. Now, of course, these can be configured as per your business use cases. I also want to quickly touch base the earned points and the earned badges and rewards. Now, under the earned points, our solution displays the name of the player, the applied game rule, the points earned, and the most important thing, the record URL. The record URL because of which the point was awarded along with the date. Now, let me demonstrate a very quick activity. Now, as you can see under the players tab over here, we have three players, Sheldon, Harvey, and Mike. Sheldon has already taken a good start and right now he has 90 points. Harvey is yet to begin his outgoing phone calls and Mike has also started with 30 points. Right. So let me switch my browser and open a browser where Sheldon has already where Sheldon has already logged in. So under the activities, I am just creating a phone call activity with some subject to the user with the phone number. Of course, I can go ahead and I can give the description regarding what and so on and so forth. However, for simplicity, the most important thing over here is outgoing and I'll hit on save. Now, the reason I emphasized on the outgoing is because I have mentioned that in my game rule where the phone call should be in the outgoing direction. Once this is done, let me switch back to my administrator window and hit on refresh. Okay, let's give the solution a couple of moments and voila. Yes, here. Now you may notice that the Sheldon has been awarded 10 points. Now, these 10 points were awarded since all the criteria of the game rules were adhered. That is, a phone call was made, an activity was created of a phone call, and the direction was outgoing. Let me switch back to Sheldon's login and let me log on to the user profile of Sheldon. Now, at the very top, you can see that Sheldon has already set his own avatar. We can also see the earned points. We can also see the games that he has played and the badges, number of badges that he has earned. So at the right, we can also see the 4 badges that Sheldon has already earned. Right now, as a part of a motivation, he can also see the badges that he can still earn. Now we definitely understand that this can work as a great motivational factor. Let me just scroll down a bit and here you may notice that Sheldon is part of 4 games. One is yet to be scheduled, so it will be done in the future, whereas he's still a part of Cold Call Warriors, where he's right now at number 1 position. And for Qualified Leads Championship, he is at number 2nd. Furthermore, he has already been a part of another cold calls warriors for APAC, the Asia Pacific region, where the game has already been completed. The reason Sheldon himself is the winner of that particular game. So this adds to a lot of motivation for Sheldon as well as the uh, other peers of Sheldon because they still have an opportunity in the other games. Also, we understand that this CRM user, Sheldon, might be busy uh, and may not visit this particular page again and again just to keep checking his stats, right? So to keep things more interesting, the Gamifix solution also comes along with a Canvas app which the users can use on their mobile to keep a track of their progress. So let me just mirror one of the application that I am having. And let me just make it full screen. Perfect. So here's the app that I was talking about. So here is the Gamifix365 app, and I have logged in as the same Sheldon Potts in my Canvas app on mobile. So here at the top, you may notice that I have the avatar that was set by Sheldon. We also have all the badges that has been earned by Sheldon till the very recently, and we also have what is happening at today's level. So today, under the cold call warriors, he has already earned 70 points, and the cold calls warrior APAC region, for which he was a winner, he has already scored 50 points, and the total points that he has earned is 120. Further, I can also see that Sheldon, that is me, I'm a part of couple of games. Uh, the Cold Call Warriors, that is still ongoing, which has 3 players. I am at number one, and I have scored 100 points till today. And the target is 1,000 points. And this game is ending on 25th of May 2022. Furthermore, the similarly we can also have for the qualified leads championship, where I'm trending at number 2 right now. So let me just open the Cold Call Warriors game, and here within the Cold Call Warriors game I get to know all the game rules, the leaderboard, where that is Sheldon, I'm leading right now, and the badges that I can earn at what points. So right now I'm still at trending at 100 points. So if I go ahead and if I go to 500 points, I'm going to earn a silver badge, and on 750 I'm going to earn this gold badge. Again, a motivational factor for Sheldon. Also at the top right, where you can see the avatar, if I just go ahead, here you can see all the profile of the player, the games that he has been played, the total points that he has earned, the badges that he has earned, and all the 4 badges are displayed below. Whether it is Cold Calls Warrior, APAC region, Platinum. The Platinum is the winner one. So that's how we have set it with the mobile app under the home section. Now, at the bottom, you may notice that I also have a couple of more tabs, which is the games one. So if I go ahead and hit on games, we have the scheduled, the live, and the completed. So scheduled is, yes, we have one of the games that is going to start, let's say in 4 days. Under the live, the Sheldon is a part of couple of live games, and the completed one where Sheldon is already the winner. If I go ahead and hit on the leaderboard tab, this is what I'm going to get it as of this moment. I can just click on that the top, and I may select the game, let's say qualified leads championship, and here I see, oh, I'm just a few steps behind the leader, Mike Zane. Oh, by the way, Mike Zane certainly looks like me with the specs and the mustache. So great. So Sheldon has gotten enough motivation that I just need to go that one extra bit so that I can be the number one even in this game. So let me switch back to my Gamifix. Now the possibilities are endless. We just thought about one game where a phone call has been made to earn the points. But let's imagine if we can create a great umbrella wherein at the first level, the phone calls, we have a game which will decide who is the winner. At the next level, once the phone calls have been achieved, a certain number of phone calls have been achieved, I have got a good amount of leads that are present. I can create one more game which will measure how many leads were qualified. So that can be a second game. Once the leads are qualified, how many quotes were sent, how many opportunities were created, and so on. And this, although it looks like a sales life cycle, but don't forget, we also have the fantasy teams, wherein every non-participating member can also create their own fantasy teams, and then they can also contribute in the organization's goals and success. Perfect. So with that being said, I just want to take your opinion into consideration as well. Excuse me. So I'm just about to launch a very quick poll in your organization. Which activity do you think can be motivated with gamification using Gamifix 365 solution? And a quick 30-second poll where you think that Gamifix 365 can actually go ahead and motivate the agents for more phone calls, motivating the representatives with more lead qualification. Oh yeah, they can also motivate the service representatives for more and more case closures, or multiple possibilities. Now this can be applied everywhere. So case closures, perfect. Lead qualifications, phone calls, wow, perfect. Although there is a distribution between the phone calls, the lead qualification, and case closures, let me be very honest and candid. 100% have said multiple possibilities. This can be applied everywhere, and that's the fact that we are looking out for. The Gamifix 365 can be applied at almost all the, if you can think of any scenario, whether it is email handling, whether it is case closures, whether it is more and more conversions, everywhere we can have Gamifix motivating the users and thereby increasing the organization's bottom line. Now, that's pretty much at 1000 feet level of what Gamifix 365 has to offer. We would love to have a one-on-one demonstration with you. And if this thought resonates with you as well, just drop an email to crm@inogic.com, and we will be happy to provide an even more detailed oriented demonstration, and we will try to incorporate your business case during the demonstration, which will enable you to get a more gist of the solution. So for time being, let me switch back to my presentation. Now, Gamifix 365 is supported on Microsoft Dynamics 365 version 9.0 onwards and in dataouts. And the deployment model of Gamifix 365 is Dynamics 365 Online. Now, I'm sure by now you might be excited and wants to get your hands on this awesome solution. Requesting you to go ahead on our website www.inogic.com and download a fully functional 15 days trial from our website. Now we heavily recommend you to go ahead and download, install, configure the solution and experience the power of the gamification and the wonders that it brings onto the table. In the due course, while installing, while configuring, if you hit a roadblock, or if you just want us to help you even in more detail, just drop an email and we'll be very happy to help you in the configuration as well as the installation of the Gamifix 365. Perfect. So before I open the floor for any questions that you may have, let me just very briefly run through the most frequently asked questions regarding Gamifix 365. Okay, the first one that I hear a lot is, how will Gamifix 365 benefit the CRM users? Now, like we discussed, like you agreed during the poll, the possibilities are endless. It's the CRM users who are going to get a quite interesting and fun-filled daily routine, rather than the without gamified, with no motivation, the daily routine. So if I put both these into a balance, I think everyone will agree. The more the motivation, it will benefit the CRM users. Okay, is there any limit to creating games with Gamifix 365 and Dynamics 365 CRM? I'm extremely happy to say no. There are no such limits. You can go ahead, create as many games, as you can think of. Can one create customized games with Gamifix 365? Oh, definitely. We just saw what we can do with phone call. The same can be applied for leads. The same can be applied for the case closures and so on. Is Gamifix 365 compatible across devices? Definitely. I just demonstrated the same using the Canvas app on the mobile. So definitely. What Microsoft Dynamics products do you support? Currently, we support Microsoft Dynamics version 9.0 onwards and Dataverse with Dynamics 365 online only. How do we get started? Oh, that's really easy. Go to our website inogic.com, download a fully functional trial, and do let us know in case if you face with any roadblocks. With that, I'll open the floor for any questions that you may have, and I'll be happy to take them. Well, thank you for the wonderful session. You said something about subscription. Oh yes, one of the solutions, right? So let's for today. I'm focusing on the Gamifix 365, but do drop in an email for subscription and recurring billing management. Our team will be very happy to assist you with any other solutions as well. That's something which I wanted to even tell all the participants. Just go on to our website. We have a bouquet of exclusive Dynamics 365 products, and I'm pretty sure not one but multiple products will catch your eye. And if any solutions intrigues your interest, just drop a mail, and we'll be happy to take it forward from there. Okay, one question that I'm getting is, can we have a complex game rules wherein okay, so complex game rules, let me try to define what complex game rules are. So let's say we are talking about the case entity, and you want to assign the points to the service representative who is able to close a case, and you want to give them the points basis on the priority level of the case that he has solved. So if that is something that resonates with you, then definitely yes, the Gamifix 365 does support the complex game rules as well. Okay, just before I go ahead, just wanted to inform that all the participants will be receiving the recorded session of this webinar in an email soon. And in case if you want us to have a one-on-one session, please do reply to that mail, and we'll be happy to take this forward. Okay, then let me take a moment and thank you for attending the Gamifix 365 webinar. It was my real pleasure in presenting the Gamifix 365 solution, and I hope you liked it as well. Do tell us your feedback or connect with us if you have any requirements by dropping a mail at crm@inogic.com. I'll just repeat it one more time: crm@inogic.com. See you soon. Till then, stay safe. Have a great day, great week, month, and a gamified life ahead. Bye bye. Thank you so much.